Good evening, sirs. Good evening to all the aspirants present here. So I think we can start the
Okay,
session. You
good
can.
evening, everyone. This is a session, the part two of infections and immunology. As you know, infections and immunology is a vast topic. In part one, I tried to cover as much as I could. And in this session, what I've done is I have basically given importance to hospital-acquired infections and less of questions compared to the previous session and a little more of theory topics. And towards the end, something about immunology. Two important topics regarding immunology. I don't know whether it has been covered before in some other session, but it's quite important and has been asked multiple times in the EDIC exam, so I have included that. So, hospital-acquired infections, it's a leading cause of mortality in developing countries. So, it's important that we know what is an ESBL organism, what is an MDR organism, and what is an XDR organism. Fine. So the definitions go by this: organisms which are producing beta lactamases, which can hydrolyze the beta lactam ring and confer resistance to penicillins and cephalosporin. That is ESBL organisms. Okay. So they produce beta lactamases. MDR organisms are organisms that show antimicrobial resistance to at least one antimicrobial drug in three or more antimicrobial categories. And XDR organisms are non-susceptible to at least one agent in all but two or fewer antimicrobial categories. So it's important that we know the definitions of these before we go to the like the organisms and before we classify them as MDR or HDR or ESBL and how we treat them, how what antibiotics we need to give. So these are the resistance mechanisms. Primarily, the gram-negative organisms are the notorious organisms in our ICUs. So it can be due to enzymatic inactivation. They could be due to decreased permeability of the cell. Efflux pumps. The organisms might develop efflux pumps. Alteration of the target site. The protection of target site. Bypass of the inhibited process. And they might bind up to the antibiotics and still not get killed. So the main resistance mechanisms in GNBs or the beta lactamases, very common and frequently asked classification is known as the Ambler classification. So basically there are four classes: class A, class B, class C, and class D. So nowadays, as you know, most of the centers we do biofires or BCAD panels. So the importance of this is that we can get to know the genotype of the organism. So even before we get the culture results and the sensitivity pattern of the organism, we can get a genotypic pattern of the organism based on which we can decide on the antibiotics. Okay, so when we are using biofires, we can get the results quite early and we can change the antibiotics quite early. So the common genotypic patterns that we focus on in case of a class A is we focus on CTXM. You might have seen biofire reports with the organism where they show CTXM detected or TEM26 or TEM3 detected. Okay, so like that. And the other one is KPC, which is also quite common in the MDR organisms. So we look for these patterns. If it is class A, if the a patient has a KPC pattern or a TEM pattern, TEM1 or TEM2 or a CTXM pattern, that is class A. Class B is metallo-beta lactamases. Okay. So for those who are from India, you must have heard of the NDM or the New Delhi beta metallo-beta lactamase and WIM1, IMP1, etc. So that is the second class. Class C is the AMP-C and class D is oxalinases. The most common one, again, the genotyping which we do is the OXA48. Okay, so it is important to know this classification because your antibiotics are based on this classification. So now I come to one question you can all answer in the chat box. Okay, so there's a 55-year-old male, diabetic, post-surgery for fractured right neck of femur, catheterized, and has UTI BP is now 80 by 60, so the patient is in shock. Blood culture has grown ESBL E. coli. So what antibiotic would you give? So can I have some answers in the chat box? Only one, two. Okay. Anyone else? Only two people have answered. Can answer. It's okay to be wrong also. You can answer first so that I can proceed. No. Okay. So fine. Only two people have answered. So can anyone tell those who have answered that why you have chosen meropenem? Anyone who has answered why have you chosen meropenem? Okay, you're saying that patient is in shock and ESBL. Okay, okay, okay. So fine. It is ESBL. Yeah. Okay, septic shock, ESBL. You have written fine. Okay, but ESBL. What is the definition? So it is a extended spectrum beta lactamase, right? So like what about piperazine tazobactam? It's a BL-BLI, right? It's a beta lactamase inhibitor, BL-BLI combination. So, don't you think that ESBL organisms we can tackle using piperazine tazobactam because we have a beta lactamase inhibitor which can neutralize the beta lactamase. There's a beta lactamase inhibitor component.